The Jensen family, John, Mary, and their two children, Emily and Sam, yearned for a change. City life had become stifling. So they packed their belongings and drove south to the heart of Virginia. They found a charming, albeit isolated, farmhouse. It stood on a sprawling property, bordered by whispering woods. The Jensens felt a surge of optimism. This was their chance for a fresh start, a chance to reconnect with nature. Little did they know, their new home harbored a dark secret. A secret that belonged to their neighbors, the Harrises. The Harris house stood at the end of a long, unpaved driveway. It was a hulking, dilapidated structure that seemed to sag under the weight of its own shadow. The Jensens rarely saw their neighbors. Whispers circulated in the nearby town. Strange folk, the Harrises, they said. Best to leave them be. John and Mary brushed off the warnings. They were determined to extend a hand of friendship to their reclusive neighbors. But something about the Harrises' vacant stares and hushed tones sent shivers down their spines. Days turned into weeks, and the Jensens settled into their new life. Yet, an unsettling feeling lingered, a sense of being watched. They would often find strange symbols etched into the dirt of their driveway, symbols that looked eerily like ancient runes. Emily, the youngest, began having nightmares. Vivid dreams of shadowy figures lurking in their barn. She swore she heard whispers coming from the woods calling her name. John dismissed it as an overactive imagination, but Mary couldn't shake off the feeling that something was amiss. One particularly chilly evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, John saw a flicker of movement in the Harrises' window. It was a fleeting glimpse of a figure, tall and gaunt, its face obscured by the gloom. The figure seemed to be staring directly at him. John tried to rationalize it. Perhaps it was just Mr. Harris checking on the source of a noise, but the way the figure vanished so quickly, melting into the shadows, left him with a deep sense of unease. As the weeks passed, the strange occurrences intensified. The unsettling symbols appeared more frequently, etched not just in the dirt, but now on their mailbox, their car, even their front door. The whispers Emily heard grew louder, more insistent. One afternoon, Mary was tending to her garden when she heard an ear-splitting shriek coming from the Harrises' property. It was a sound of pure terror, a sound that made her blood run cold. She rushed to the edge of their property, her heart pounding in her chest. Peering through the overgrown bushes, she saw something that made her gasp. In the middle of their yard, the Harrises were gathered around a bonfire, but it wasn't firewood they were burning. It was a pile of something that Mary couldn't quite make out, something that writhed and pulsated in the flames, emitting a foul-smelling smoke. Then came the dinner invitation, a handwritten note delivered by the pale and rail-thin Mrs. Harris, her eyes darting nervously. Dinner at the Harrises, tomorrow night, 7 sharp. Refusal didn't seem like an option. Dread hung heavy in the air as the Jensens made their way to the Harrises' house that evening. The front door creaked open before they could even knock. The interior was dark and oppressive, the air thick with the scent of incense and something else. Something metallic and unsettling. The dinner was a blur of strained smiles and awkward silences. Mr. Harris, his face a mask of shadows, spoke in cryptic riddles. Mrs. Harris kept her head down, her eyes flitting nervously around the room. The food tasted off. Emily refused to eat, claiming she saw a face in her soup. John, trying to maintain a sense of normalcy, urged her to be polite, but as he looked closer at the soup, he saw it too. A face, contorted in silent agony, staring back at him from the depths of the bowl. That was when the lights went out. Screams pierced the darkness. John felt a cold hand grab his wrist, the grip vice-like. Then, silence. An eerie, consuming silence. When the authorities arrived the next day, the Harrises were gone. Vanished. Without a trace. The only sign of the Jensens, a single muddied shoe belonging to little Emily. Inside the Harris house, investigators found a scene straight out of a nightmare. The basement was a charnel house filled with the remnants of unspeakable rituals, and in the center of it all, a symbol etched into the floor. The same symbol the Jensens had seen so many times before. The Harrises' secret was out. But what became of the Jensens? Some say they were taken, spirited away to some unimaginable fate. Others whisper that they are still out there, trapped in the Harrises' nightmare, forever bound to the eerie tale of the house in the Virginia woods.